This page is the front cover of the September 1989 summer special issue of Beep MegaDrive magazine, priced at 480 yen. The main feature is a hot-blooded MegaDrive declaration, exploring the passion for the system from key developers like Sega, Technosoft, Asmik, Sunsoft, and NCS. Featured topics highlighted at the bottom include titles like Super Hangin', Rambo 2 Eyes, Sorcerian, Supermasters, and Telltale Stadium. There's also a special project digging into the history of Phantasy Star, specifically tracing its origins with a Phantasy Star I Chase document. The cover art is incredibly vibrant and chaotic, featuring a large, dark figure dressed up and covered in stars, surrounded by a whimsical landscape filled with colorful, stylized characters, buildings, and objects like musical notes, a cactus, a car, and a castle, all in a very distinct, playful style. It perfectly captures the exciting, energetic vibe of the early MegaDrive era. This page, set against a dramatic backdrop of a Monument Valley-esque desert landscape at sunset, carries the powerful title, Heartbeat, Greatest Mega. The main text is a passionate declaration about the Sega Mega Drive, speaking directly to the reader about the excitement and emotion experienced within its games. It hints at the hidden power within the 16-bit system, unleashed by its cartridges, and looks forward to future developments and expansion features waiting for their moment. Featured at the bottom are 5 upcoming titles, aligning with the system's growing potential highlighted in the text. These include the high-speed racing action of Super Hangin', the intense combat of Rambo 2i, the mystical adventure of Kujaku 02, Genejo, likely Peacock King 2, the classic action RPG Sorcerian, and the unique arcade shooter Forgotten Worlds. Each game is presented with a screenshot, showcasing the diverse genres available on the Mega Drive, and brief details on their upcoming release months and pricing, emphasizing the exciting wave of new experiences arriving for the console. This page, set against a dramatic Monument Valley landscape bathed in the warm glow of sunset, boldly declares, "Whoo! Super exciting new games!" At the top, the prominent text across the middle shouts, or Drive World, matching the previous page's theme of the Mega Drive's power. This page highlights the system's capabilities with pointed banners. Power 1! Advanced image processing for visual shock. Power 2 16. 16-bit power for speed shock. And Power 3. FM plus PSG plus PCM. FM plus PSG plus PCM. Sound for sound shock. Below, the page proudly presents the console itself, proclaiming 16 Mega Drive. The era demanded the 16-bit Mega Drive, listing its price at 21,000 yen. 4 upcoming game titles are featured at the bottom. We see the classic fantasy beat-em-up, Golden Axe, showing a scene with the hero fighting a dragon. Next is the iconic ninja action of The Revenge of Shinobi, featuring a screenshot of the main character in a Japanese garden setting. There's also Mahjong Cop Ryu, a Mahjong title, and Moondancer, Return of the Fairy King, a title that appears to be an RPG or strategy game with a dramatic character portrait. Release dates and pricing are mentioned for most games, with Golden Axe and The Revenge of Shinobi priced at 6,000 yen and Mahjong Cop Ryu at 5,500 yen, emphasizing the variety of exciting new experiences heading to the Mega Drive. The page concludes with contact information for Sega Enterprises. This page is dedicated to promoting the Sega High-Tech World Series of strategy guides, highlighting the release of Volume 5. The main section touts Volume 5 as packed with the latest information, especially for the new machine Mega Drive, reinforcing the previous page's focus on the powerful new console. It offers comprehensive guides for significant games like the RPG-YS, the action-packed Mystic Defender and Double Dragon, the baseball sim Nekyu Koshien, and the classic puzzle game Final Bubble Bobble. Below, the page reminds readers that earlier volumes, 14, are also available, covering a range of classic Sega arcade and console titles. These include popular games such as Outrun, Space Harrier, Alien Syndrome, Fantasy Zone 2, Enduro Racer, Afterburner, Phantasy Star, Wonder Boy and Monsterland, Thunderblade, and Shinobi, showcasing the breadth of Sega's library covered by the series. The guides are presented as essential reads for any Sega enthusiast. This page is dedicated to announcing the release of Magic Kingdom Simulant, RPG Setting Material, a book touted as Japan's first RPG construction guide. Written by Kurando Hori, the author of Moondancer. This book provides extensive lore and world-building resources centered on the Magic Kingdom Silent setting. It's designed for aspiring RPG creators, offering detailed material covering mythology, history, geography, lifestyle, customs, and equipment to help build unique game worlds or flesh out existing ones. It also serves as a resource for players or game masters looking for setting details or scenario ideas, expanding on the world introduced in The Sword of Saxnos. The advertisement highlights that the book is already on sale to critical acclaim. This issue's table of contents, marked by a red contents title, showcases featured games like Phantasy Star II and Forgotten Worlds. Content begins with BeepMD News on page 6, detailing computer game happenings. New Work Scramble on page 10 previews games like Golden Axe and Herzog 2. BeepMD Hot Menu on page 16 reviews titles such as Forgotten Worlds and Sorcery. Further sections include New Work Thorough Master on page 30, offering detailed game guides. Hot-Blooded Mega Drive Declaration on page 73 highlights console publishers. A major feature on page 44 presents another Phantasy Star II story, promising an in-depth look at the popular RPG, potentially including a guide. This page serves as the table of contents for this issue, promising a variety of features for the avid gamer. A notable article on page 50 delves into the game Ganbare Osomatsu-kun, featuring a discussion with its creator, Fujio Akatsuka, and provocatively mentioning the label of Worst Game. On page 104, the Gokuraku VG Brothers section covers arcade hits from Taito and Sega, including the beat-em-ups Dynamite League and Crime City, the light gun game Flashpoint, and Sega's golf title Jumbo Ozaki's Supermasters. The magazine also explores titles beyond the Mega Drive, with a strategy guide for the PC game Dreamcatcher on page 108, and a making-of feature for the PC adventure King of Fairies. Special reports highlight unexpected uses of Klydrum technology, and an interview with Koichi Sugiyama, the composer known for his iconic Dragon Quest music, focusing on game sound design. The page also lists ongoing series like the Japanese RPG Travelogue, and columns on technology, California gaming trends, and hunting for cheap games in Tokyo. Visuals include a screenshot of a motorcycle racing game, likely Sega's Super Hang-In, at the top, a photo of a group of people, and a striking screenshot from the cult classic Alien Soldier at the bottom right, hinting at coverage for this intense action game. This page features the BeepMD News section, promising readers will understand Sega 16 times better. An article highlights experiential games at Lotte World, a large complex recently opened in Korea. It announces that visitors can enjoy Sega video games there, including popular motion games like Afterburner, Galaxy Force, and Power Drift, alongside classics like Altered Beast and Fantasy Zone, and even the ever-popular UFO Catcher. Sega has begun local manufacturing in Korea, suggesting more new titles are on the way. The article also notes Sega's expansion of arcade game sales in other Asian countries like Taiwan, Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore, and hints at the possibility of a global Super Monaco GP tournament. Another article, titled Outrun in Brazil, discusses Sega's presence in South America. Surprisingly, it focuses on the Sega Master System, which began sales there in August. The console is priced at around $150, with software at $4,050, considered quite reasonable. Anticipated games include arcade ports like Thunderblade and Afterburner. The piece notes the popularity of consoles distributed there and observes a curious compatibility between Brazil and high technology, concluding that the South American game scene is worth watching. A whimsical illustration of a pineapple playing a ukulele on a beach accompanies the text, with vertical Japanese script adding a touch of flavor, perhaps related to the Korean section. This page covers two key pieces of Sega news and events. The top section details the Cabin Spirit Caravan 89, an event held at the Yokohama Expo. This event centered around Sega's popular arcade title, Super Monaco GP, even featuring a racing simulator setup alongside displays of real racing vehicles. Legendary driver Kazuyoshi Hoshino made an appearance, engaging with fans and participating in exhibition races, including a 4-player competition among winners of qualifying rounds. The atmosphere sounds like a high-energy celebration of racing and gaming. The bottom section is an announcement recruiting monitors for the upcoming Sega Mega Modem for the Genesis/Mega Drive. This was Sega's pioneering step into online gaming. The magazine is looking for testers based in the Tokyo area who are at least 15 years old, with parental consent for minors, to test the modem and its online games for about 2 weeks in late September. Participants would use the modem for communication games and provide feedback via questionnaires. While the magazine wouldn't cover phone charges, monitors would receive a thank you gift. A colorful illustration accompanies the text, featuring characters seemingly representing a competitive or supportive dynamic, fitting the themes of racing and potentially online gaming challenges. This page introduces the Super Famicom, Nintendo's new console, showing the console, controller, and a cartridge. A text bubble references the previous issue's reader survey, noting that 64% of Mega Drive users expressed interest in the Super Famicom. The article states that while the hardware is complete, the release is delayed potentially until next summer or later, primarily due to a shortage of semiconductor memory. This shortage would make the console expensive if released now, passing the cost onto the hardware and software. The text highlights Super Mario World, detailing its use of the system's full capabilities, including rotation, scaling, and mosaic effects. It notes that playing Mario in this game, especially seeing how colors change underwater and parts of the scenery rotate, feels distinctly different from current Famicom software. The article also mentions that Nintendo is nearing completion on initial titles, like Super Mario World, The Legend of Zelda, and a game tentatively called Dragonfly, likely Dragon Quest III, aiming for a September-October release window for those titles. Overall, Nintendo is developing 78 first-party games. The article also mentions that 21 third-party developers are supporting the Super Famicom. This page continues the discussion around Nintendo's new console, featuring several screenshots from Super Mario World and the title Dragonfly, likely referencing a Dragon Quest title, showcasing impressive scaling and rotation effects. Super Mario World's title screen is shown, and the article notes its gameplay system is similar to Super Mario Bros. 3. Screenshots highlight detailed backgrounds, large character sprites, and different gameplay elements like climbing nets. The article also touches on third-party support, listing the 21 companies already expressing interest in developing for the system, including Konami, HAL Laboratory, SNK, Square, Capcom, Jaleco, Sunsoft, Chunsoft, Seta, Data East, Koei, Bandai, Enix, Irem, Tecmo, Taito, Hudson Soft, ASC2, Pony Canyon, and CBS Sony Group. Further points mention discussions around Famicom trade-ins and previously shown but unreleased adapters. The article concludes by promising a comparison with the Mega Drive in the next issue, teasing it with a photo of a model. This page kicks off the U release scramble, highlighting new and upcoming software. A list of games is featured, including well-known titles like Golden Axe, Herzog Zwei, Assault Suits, Lanos, localized from Shaft, Sukoban, and Curse, alongside others such as Air Diver, Heavy Unit, Furios, Telephone Mahjong, and Atomic RoboKid. The main focus is on Mahjong Cop Ryu, a new style Mahjong game with an adventure game format. It features a story like a Mahjong manga, and pits players against unique characters in Mahjong matches across 10 stages. The page includes screenshots showing both the Mahjong gameplay interface and the adventure game dialogue/character screen. The article introduces the first 3 opponents: Command Vinegar from Stage 1, a tough character resembling Schwarzenegger; Cayman Hender from Stage 2, who resembles Cayman Norider and prefers strange waiting hands; and Nanami Tetsuo from Stage 3, who resembles Tanba Tetsuro and likes specific Mahjong hands. Portraits of these 3 characters are displayed. Other game modes mentioned include a standard Mahjong match mode and a Chinitsu, full flush, quiz mode. Details about the story, rules, and characters from Stage 4 onwards are promised for the next issue. This section highlights 2 upcoming Mega Drive titles. First, Telephone Mahjong, a serious and authentic Mahjong game, is presented as the first to utilize the Mega Drive's modem. It offers single-player and online multiplayer modes, with 3 difficulty levels and 8 opponents each. While the title was changed from Mahjong Goku, the gameplay remains the same. Secondly, Atomic RoboKid, a power-up-filled shooting game, is highlighted as a welcome addition to the platform. The game promises a deluxe experience compared to the arcade version, with new ideas and clean graphics. Players control a cute protagonist through labyrinthine levels, battling bosses to save humanity. The reviewer expresses enthusiasm for both titles. This page focuses on the upcoming action game, Golden Axe. Described as a spectacular fantasy battle with sword and magic, The game highlights detailed character actions and unique Sega ideas. Players choose from 3 distinct heroes at the start: the versatile axe battler, the agile Tyrus Flare who specializes in magic, or the powerful dwarf Gilius Thunderhead. The article features vibrant illustrations and descriptions of these main characters, as well as some notable enemies like the heavy Death Adder soldiers, swift Amazonesses, and tough knights, some appearing as bosses. Screenshots show the game's action and magic effects, with the magazine noting the Mega Drive version closely resembles the arcade. The feature emphasizes the appeal of the characters and the game's exciting combat. This page introduces Air Diver, an original 3D cockpit dogfighting simulator from Asmik, their second Mega Drive title. Unlike arcade-style games such as Afterburner, Air Diver emphasizes simulation with detailed instruments and a cockpit view. The game's plot puts you in the pilot's seat of an F-19 stealth fighter, the last hope against a terrorist organization that has seized control of the world's skies using a fleet of high-tech airborne carriers. Gameplay involves strategic area selection, engaging enemy aircraft, and the primary objective of destroying the giant enemy carriers. You must carefully manage limited fuel and ammunition, landing on friendly carriers for resupply to avoid crashing. Enemy forces include various plane types, seemingly based on real-world aircraft like the Harrier and F-14 Tomcat, and 4 distinct types of challenging boss carriers. The reviewer got a glimpse of development footage and was impressed, finding the game varied and promising. The intense aerial combat experience is likened to classic flight movies. This page introduces 2 exciting new releases for the Genesis. First up is Herzog Zwei from Technosoft, building upon their earlier X68000 title. This isn't just a simple port, it's a full-fledged real-time strategy game where you command a transforming battle mech, produce units, capture bases, and direct your forces to destroy the enemy fortress. The game abandons traditional turn-based systems for fast-paced real-time action, injecting significant active elements into the strategy genre. It supports both single-player against the computer and intense 2-player battles, featuring split-screen gameplay as shown in the development screenshots. The magazine anticipates it will be a thrilling and unique, active SLG. Next we have Heavy Unit, a challenging horizontal scrolling shooter from Toho, marking their debut on the Genesis. This is an arcade port known for its toughness. Players pilot a transforming ship, collecting items for power-ups including unlimited speed boosts and shields in the original, and the ability to change between different forms optimized for attack or escape. The game features diverse enemies and formidable bosses, with screenshots highlighting some of these difficult encounters, including multi-jointed creatures and large mechanical foes with complex bullet patterns. Mentioned alongside Thunder Force 2, Heavy Unit promises a tough, action-packed shooting experience. This page highlights several upcoming releases. First is Furios, a Namco shooter, still without a solid release date or price, now expected around March next year, a delay from the initial year-end target. The magazine shows screenshots of the arcade version and suggests playing that while waiting. The images depict a vertical shooter with mythological elements, showing various enemies and environments. Next is Assault Suits Lanos from Messiah, planned for release next spring. Described as SF anime-style robot action, this horizontal scrolling shooter features multi-directional movement and highly detailed, realistic powersuit designs. Unlike traditional stage-clear shooters, it incorporates missions and a story, making it essential for SF military fans. Screenshots show the main mech, a cityscape, and a large battleship. Also featured is Curse from Micronet, now slated for a December release. This horizontal shooter boasts a psychedelic atmosphere, evolving power-ups for realistic combat, and grotesque stages with giant bosses. Screenshots display colorful, intricate level designs and enemy creatures. Finally, Messiah is bringing Sukoban, a puzzle game joining the puzzle boom. It will feature 200 stages and different modes, including real-time and stage selection. A screenshot shows the classic block-pushing puzzle grid. Rambo 2 is coming to the Mega Drive in October, promising thrilling action based on the Sylvester Stallone film series. Players will experience intense gameplay with machine guns and fire arrows, similar to the movies. The game is praised for its satisfying shooting mechanics and impressive digitized graphics, even in demo sequences. The game's design prioritizes simplicity, making it easy to pick up and play. Controls are intuitive, directional pad for movement, and 3 buttons for weapons and firing. The objective is to rescue Colonel Troutman, involving helping secret agents and destroying weapon depots. Special weapons include a knife, fire arrows with charge-up, and time bombs. Special panels replenish these items. Screenshots showcase dynamic scenes with helicopters and vehicles, and a straightforward options menu. Mission 1 of Rambo 2 begins with a straightforward infiltration of enemy territory. The initial area is small and populated by basic enemies and jeeps. Destroying the jeeps with fire arrows or bombs is recommended to prevent troop scattering. Explosive barrels are scattered around, which can be detonated to clear out watchtowers and jeeps. The stage culminates in a boss fight against a fortress. Use bombs to take out the watchtowers first, and then attack the fortress from a distance with machine gun fire. Following the fortress battle, a helicopter appears, surprisingly weak. Capitalize on its first missed attack by charging your power to defeat it quickly. Remember, fire arrows instantly detonate explosive barrels. This page delves into the later stages of Rambo 2I, picking up the action in Stage 2, where your mission is to rescue a secret agent. The level features a large, somewhat confusing map with many similar areas. Your primary objective involves finding the agent hidden within one of 3 prisons, although you ultimately need to destroy all of them. Be warned, one section includes a timed explosion requiring a swift exit. Enemies are generally simple soldiers here. A useful tip is that if you stop moving, your machine gun fire becomes a fan-shaped spray, great for dealing with groups. The guide also points out that certain enemies, the ones who stop moving before shooting, are easy prey. You can approach them while they are frozen, finish them with your knife, and they will drop valuable item panels like arrows and bombs. Stage 3 tasks you with infiltrating a weapons depot and assisting Colonel Troutman. The difficulty ramps up from Stage 1, featuring annoying kamikaze bombers who will plant time bombs anywhere. The machine gun is recommended against these pests. Jeeps carrying soldiers also appear, which can be destroyed with explosives or simply ignored if they are too much trouble. The stage culminates in a fortress defense, which is noted to be twice as durable as the one in Stage 1. The final boss is not a helicopter this time, but a tank. It's tougher than the previous flying boss, so use the environment and obstacles for cover while attacking. This page features a detailed map for a level in Rambo 2I. The accompanying text discusses Rambo's approach to the weapons depot mission, emphasizing destroying anything destructible, which is described as his forte. It confirms that successfully rescuing Colonel Troutman leads to the game's ending, promising a visually impressive and moving conclusion that captures the spirit of the movie. The guide encourages players to push through to the end. This page introduces the classic RPG Sorcerian, originally from Nihon Falcom in 1987, now making its way to the Sega Mega Drive. The article dives into the game's unique features, starting with a look at the aging system. Characters don't just die from combat failure, they age and eventually pass away, representing a lifespan. This innovative mechanic sets Sorcerians apart from traditional RPGs. When a character dies of old age, their descendant can inherit money and magical items, allowing the lineage to continue the adventure. Although the descendant starts with basic stats, the accumulated knowledge and inherited items provide a significant advantage. This generational progression, where players must raise multiple generations to achieve their goals, is highlighted as the core appeal of the game. Visually, this aging is represented by characters' graphics changing through 3 distinct stages: youth, maturity, and old age, as shown with the example of the elf character. This attention to detail makes the game world feel incredibly real and immersive. This page continues the look at Sorcerian, detailing some of its core mechanics beyond the unique aging system. It highlights the game's distinctive magic system, where spells aren't learned through levels or purchased, but created by combining 7 elements: moon, fire, water, wood, gold, earth, and sun. Different combinations yield different effects, requiring experimentation, though some spells, like the self-petrifying Change Idol, can be risky. Learning magic takes a significant amount of in-game time, ranging from 1 to 5 years. The game also boasts an impressive selection of 60 different jobs available to your characters, from commoners like farmers to specialized roles like doctors. These jobs aren't just cosmetic. They impact your character's stats and income, adding a layer of realism to the world of Pentawa, where characters live as citizens, not just adventurers. Certain jobs have prerequisites, such as needing at least 10 intelligences to become a doctor. Character creation is also discussed, focusing on the 4 playable races: fighter, human, wizard, human, dwarf, and elf. Each race has distinct strengths and average lifespans, adding strategic depth to party composition. Elves live the longest, exceeding 200 years, while dwarves live around 150, and humans, fighters, wizards, have average lifespans similar to ours. Screenshots showcase the elemental magic in action, the job selection menu, town scenes, and detailed character status screens showing stats and learned skills. This page provides a guide to the RPG Sorcerian, focusing on character creation and adventure preparation. It presents base stats for fighter, wizard, and dwarf characters, categorized by gender. Players then prepare in the town of Pentawa, utilizing facilities like the guild, equipment, wizard's house, magic, pharmacy, healing, temple, resurrection, elder's house, identification, castle, leveling, and dojo, training. The core gameplay centers on scenarios, offering quests with giant bosses, puzzles, and rewards in experience, gold, and items. Parties can consist of up to 4 characters. The page references the original 15 scenarios, promising varied gameplay, and showcases the guild interface and a scenario scene with character stats. The article previews the Mega Drive port of Sorcerians, focusing on character creation and initial scenarios. It details the elf race, outlining attribute stats like strength, intelligence, and dexterity, and explains how bonus points customize characters. The nicely mechanized section reviews the port, praising its graphics, speed, and sound. While fewer scenarios are available initially due to storage, the Mega Drive version enhances the magic system. The article also introduces Meganize, a Sega-specific term for ported games. 4 scenarios are previewed: The Gods of Heaven, Ice Cave, Cursed Oasis, and Cursed Queen Mary, each offering unique gameplay styles and story elements. Further coverage is promised in the next issue. This page previews Peacock King, Castle of Illusion for the Mega Drive, a pure side-scrolling action game based on the second Kujaku o Ova. Unlike the previous Mark II title, this focuses solely on fast-paced action, promising thrills and speed. Gameplay involves collecting items, avoiding traps, and defeating bosses, following a familiar but engaging pattern. The reviewer highlights the game's vibrant, anime-style graphics, with detailed presentation and multi-layered parallax scrolling, giving a good sense of depth. The difficulty is noted as being a bit high. The story centers around the resurrected Oda Nobunaga, building a biofactory in Azuchi Castle to revive the cherub. As Peacock King, you must infiltrate the fortress, destroy the biosystem, and confront Nobunaga himself. Screenshots show the game's intro, action sequences, and different environments, including interior organic areas and castle locations. This page continues the preview of Peacock King, Castle of Illusion, delving into the game's mechanics and providing more details. The game focuses on mastering 5 distinct techniques, used as ranged attacks that can be charged for more power. The page details several of these, including a straight shot, a continuous fire stream, a 3-way wind attack, and a potent lightning strike that can instantly kill certain enemies. Screenshots showcase these techniques in action against different foes and environments. A large illustration teases a powerful winged character, asking, "Who is it?" confirming this boss is a major element of Kujaku O2. The page also includes the Sega Garden of Rumors column, reporting on news from the US market, where the Master System is popular, listing titles like Alien Syndrome, Altered Beast, Outrun 3Ds, and Rampage, noting Alien Syndrome features smooth scrolling there. It then shifts to Mega Drive rumors, mentioning big unannounced titles expected by year-end, and confirms an Ultraman action game is scheduled for January the following year. This page features a preview of Capcom's classic arcade shooter, Forgotten Worlds, coming to the Sega Mega Drive. Marketed as the second major title in this series of features, the game is based on the arcade hit Lost World, and is set for a late November release. Forgotten Worlds supports 2-player simultaneous gameplay, letting players control powerful warriors with a unique 360-degree aiming system. Though the article notes mastering the controls using the standard Mega Drive pad buttons requires some practice compared to the arcade's rotary control. The game includes a shop system, where players collect money from defeated enemies to buy power-ups and equipment like defensive satellites. The shop is run by Sylphie, whose rather disgruntled commentary about her business and the player characters is highlighted. The page also includes a brief explanation of Capcom's CP System arcade hardware, noting its advanced capabilities. This article previews the Sega Genesis/Mega Drive version of Forgotten Worlds. A menu section highlights available power-ups and items like various satellites, missiles, lasers, stat boosters, and life-saving supplies. A preview. Wonderful Mega Nice. Indicates the port is 50% complete, with promising graphics and sound, though lacking a stage demo mode. The stage introduction details the first 3 rounds of the Dust World. Round 1 features the Wallworm boss. Round 2 features the Dust Dragon over a lake. Round 3 presents the screen-filling Devil God, Majin. The preview promises the Pyramid World in later stages. Screenshots of the bosses are included. Further information is promised in the next issue. This page provides a detailed guide covering the first half of the action RPG, Super Hydlide. It begins with a review of the early progression, starting from the forest town and leading to the Tower of Harba. The guide mentions navigating the tower floors, facing the Hellsmoke boss, and obtaining the item needed to advance to the Sky Town and Sky Castle. It highlights the peaceful nature of the Sky Town, the importance of gathering information and items, and potentially grinding levels or learning magic. The guide then moves on to the Water Castle and the challenging underground town accessed via the graveyard, warning of stronger enemies and the triple-headed dragon boss, and noting the need for light sources in the darkness. The page also delves into character creation, explaining the 4 job classes, warrior, thief, priest, monk, their varying growth paths, and the significance of initial stats. A major section is dedicated to Super Hydlide's unique weight system, which limits how many items players can carry and which weapons they can effectively use based on character level and stats, emphasizing its crucial role in gameplay progression. Screenshots illustrate boss battles, character status, and item menus. This page moves into the latter half of Super Hydlide, detailing progression after the initial stages. It focuses on the Lake Shrine, described as a modern fortress rather than a traditional shrine, featuring traps and warp systems. To advance, you'll need to defeat the dragon in the underground town mentioned on the previous page, get an item, and take it to the king at the Water Castle, who provides access to the Lake Shrine. Inside the shrine, the secrets of the world are revealed via a computer message deep within. Clearing the shrine is crucial, as it provides the spacesuit and space compass, items necessary for venturing into space from a mysterious ground crack. Navigating space requires the compass, as the scenery is repetitive. Finding the spaceship is key, and its interior structure is noted as being similar to the Lake Shrine, but with different warp setups. The game then introduces new, tougher enemies. The page also highlights the game's unique time system, where days and times are displayed and affect in-game situations. Players must manage food and sleep, adding a layer of realism. Finally, it explains the concept of good and evil monsters. Defeating evil monsters increases a heart parameter, while defeating good ones significantly decreases it. Knowing the monster types is vital, as good monsters are docile until attacked, then become aggressive. Screenshots show the Lake Shrine interior, a view of space, the spaceship interior, the status screen displaying time, and examples of good and evil monsters. The next page dives into a new software thorough master feature, focusing on the highly anticipated Sega release, Super Hangin' for the Mega Drive. This section, Part 1, provides an in-depth look at the game, highlighting its transition from the arcade to the home console. The article features commentary from the character MegaDrive Panda, who expresses excitement and determination to master the game after being hooked by the arcade version. He mentions coming to a Hashimikofuni ring training school with the slogan, "Don't quit until you win," aiming to earn his Immortal Rider license. A tough, demon instructor character is also introduced, seemingly overseeing the training, with a stern quote at the bottom about strict education for winning. The page confirms the Mega Drive version is complete and set for release in early October, at a price of 6,000 yen. Illustrations depict the MegaDrive Panda struggling and the intimidating demon instructor. This page dives into the basic operations of Super Hangin' on the Mega Drive, presented as part of a training session led by the demon instructor. The opening sequence is praised for its coolness. The core controls are explained. Handling involves leaning the bike, braking uses the brake lamp, and there's a pause function available anytime. A special technique, the turbo, is activated by the C button, but only works when exceeding 279 km per hour, allowing acceleration up to 324 km per hour with flames shooting from the exhaust. A key point highlighted is the difference between the arcade machine's riding controller and the Mega Drive pad. While handling is improved over the previous game on console, achieving the true hang-on leaning pose is tricky with the controller, a point the reviewer notes as ironic given the title. However, The button-based throttle is a positive change compared to the often worn-out arcade throttles.
Mastering these controls is emphasized as the first step to victory. This page is all about tackling the Africa course in Super Hangin' as part of the training camp. It highlights that there are 4 courses available: Europe, America, Asia, and Africa, and you should pick one that matches your skill level. The main section features a screenshot of the Africa course and a conversation between the demon instructor, H, and the trainee, U. The instructor urges the trainee, even if a beginner, to conquer this course first, dismissing complaints about the difficulty, especially with cornering. He tells the trainee to practice and hints at even tougher, unusual obstacles waiting in Stage 2. Below this, there's a section titled, I am Hashimakov, featuring a muscular blue character. This text serves as an introduction or boast from this character, detailing his impressive physical condition achieved through constant training. He recounts his past achievements, including winning bodybuilding titles, performing as a bike acrobat in Soviet circuses, and working as a KGB agent. He also talks about his stunt work in movies, specifically mentioning a difficult and dangerous stunt from the film The Bear, where he fell from a cliff as a bear cub, warning readers absolutely not to attempt to imitate it. This page continues exploring the world of Super Hangin' by detailing the various course options available to players based on their skill level. The game offers 4 distinct classes: Beginner, Africa, 6 stages; Junior, Asia, 10 stages; Senior, America, 14 stages; and Expert, Europe, 18 stages. The Expert class takes you to Europe, described as the most difficult course, with challenging slalom-like curves stretching on endlessly. Only the truly skilled will conquer all 18 stages. The Asia course, for junior players, is said to be easier than Africa, but quickly becomes tough, featuring tricky trees and numerous hairpin turns across its 10 stages. The senior course in America is even more demanding, spanning 14 stages, and it's suggested players master the easier Africa and Asia courses before attempting it. The first half is manageable, but reaching the end is a significant challenge. All course descriptions are delivered with a motivational "Ora ora!" exclamation. Beyond the courses, the page highlights the game's music selection feature. Players can choose from 4 upbeat BGM tracks: Outride a Crisis, Sprinter, Winning Run, and Hard Road. Any of these songs are said to pump up the rider, but Outride a Crisis comes highly recommended. A cool bear character grooving to a boombox illustrates how the music, timed with the race start, adds to the excitement, especially when the turbo kicks in right after the intro ends. This page provides a thorough analysis of the Africa course in Super Hangin', presented with the motivational call to action, Ora Ora. The introductory text emphasizes that Africa is the main focus now and urges players to keep up. A simple map illustrates the course layout, showing the start and the 2 check gates. The page then dives into specific strategies for Stage 1, titled First Steps. The core advice is to master the bike's handling. The reviewer suggests minimal braking is needed. Focus on throttle control, steering, and using the turbo occasionally. Reaching check gate 1 without crashing should provide ample time. Key points include learning the feel of drifting through corners, managing continuous curves, and being cautious when approaching the check gate. Screenshots show gameplay during these sections. Stage 2, Cornering Caution, is discussed next. It's deemed relatively easy if Stage 1 was cleared successfully, though frequent crashes beforehand make it tough. The stage features 2 large curves. The guide notes that balance is generally stable, unless you hit an opponent. The recommended technique involves using the turbo to initiate a drift, repeating on/off application to control the slide and conquer the turns. This section highlights the importance of careful cornering, precise timing, and ultimately pulling away from competitors. More screenshots depict the action in Stage 2.
This page concludes the detailed guide to the Africa course in Super Hangin', boldly declaring, "This is the full course." The guide moves on to Stage 3, ominously titled, "The Terror of the Waiting Birds."
It's described as the Africa course's biggest challenge, requiring intense focus. The main threat comes from the Bird brothers, messengers from the demon world waiting to get you. The text emphatically states that clearing this stage without using engine braking is practically impossible. The basic strategy is to apply engine braking when you see corner markers and absolutely avoid hitting the bird obstacles. Screenshots show gameplay during this difficult stage, illustrating challenges like navigating tempting curves and hellish obstacle placements, where reducing speed is critical. Finally, Stage 4 is covered, with the subtitle, Simply Accelerate. Compared to Stage 3, the danger significantly decreases, making it the place to recover lost time by accelerating aggressively. The goal is to simply tear it up and pull away from the competition. However, a word of caution is given for the final hairpin curve at the end of the stage. Screenshots show moments like watching out for trees, the wide open sections perfect for hitting top speed, and navigating that final corner. The tone is one of pushing hard and finishing strong. This page continues the Super Hang-In Guide, focusing on the later stages of the Africa course. Stage 5, titled Handle with Care, is characterized by zigzags, demanding a balance between braking to avoid time over and maintaining speed without running off course. The key here is mastering quick direction changes. Stage 6, Contact is Prohibited, resembles Stage 4, but features a narrower track and a significant increase in rival racers, making contact a major hazard. Clearing this final stage is noted as difficult, with the crucial strategy being to simply avoid hitting other bikes. The page includes screenshots showing gameplay in these stages, and a diagram illustrating the track layout with check gates 4 and 5, leading to the goal. Finally, the license endorsement section provides a humorous dialogue reflecting on the challenge of completing the course, accompanied by a drawing of a character shedding tears of relief or frustration after finishing. This page is a darkly humorous look at the treacherous Africa course in Super Hang-In, titled Senior Instructors Who Died in the Line of Duty. It presents a series of screenshots showcasing various obstacles encountered during the race, treating them as deadly hazards that claimed the lives of experienced riders. The dialogue between characters H and U sets the scene, with H showing you these images as a lesson in overcoming the course's difficulties. Below each screenshot is a caption describing the crash or the obstacle's lethality, ranging from crashing into a disco sign or a palm tree, to hitting strange mounds, streetlights, or treacherous cacti. There's even a sign humorously misspelled as Bridlestone. The commentary personifies these objects and the crashes, emphasizing the difficulty and unforgiving nature of the course. A short, morbidly funny obstacle song is included, detailing the consequences of hitting things. The overall tone is a blend of challenge and comedic despair, perfectly capturing the frustration players might feel when wiped out by seemingly innocuous trackside objects. This page introduces the Another mode in Super Hang-In, specifically the original mode, which is exclusive to the Sega Mega Drive version and not found in the arcade game. This mode offers a deeper experience centered around challenging rivals. The game involves earning prize money from races, which you then use to buy optional parts to power up your bike. The goal is to create the strongest machine possible, to achieve the best times and defeat rivals. The text highlights that money isn't just for parts. You also need to hire mechanics to keep your machine in top shape for races. Hiring reliable mechanics is crucial for success. The page features a screenshot of the original mode selection screen, showing options like race, rival, parts, mechanic, and sponsor. It also displays information about your current rival, money, and win/loss records. The accompanying caption notes that the first rival is a beautiful lady and asks for a gentle match. There's a table listing various bike parts across categories like frame, engine, brake, muffler, oil, and tire, along with their corresponding prices, showcasing the different upgrade options available. Below this, a section introduces the mechanics you can hire to assist you, listing their names: Ken Fujita, Miki Morita, Kutaru Nagai, Takeshi Onda, Mike Sunny, Nastasha Milski, and Shigeo Todoroki. This mode adds significant depth and replayability beyond the arcade experience. This page showcases the world of racing campaign girls, presented in a lighthearted and slightly suggestive manner. The main title exclaims, "High Leg Girls! Ora, ora, ora!" positioning these women as a reward or prize, perhaps linked to some kind of graduation certificate. The accompanying text encourages the reader to gaze their fill and cleanse their soul, even suggesting the girls will pose together for photos. In a section titled, "Speaking of Races," cartoon characters comment on the scenes. One character, speaking with a meow, links racing to high-leg girls and mentions the women featured actually participated in the legendary Suzuka 8 Hours endurance race. Another character, having apparently obtained an immortal biker license, ponders entering races, humorously admitting his primary motivation might be to get closer to the women, only to worry about being rejected. The page features several photos of women in various race-themed outfits posing with motorcycles, emphasizing the visual aspect of the racing world. While no specific Mega Drive games are discussed directly, the connection to racing complements the previous page's focus on the racing games Super Hangin'. The content is more of a lifestyle/culture piece related to racing events rather than a deep dive into a game itself, highlighting the atmosphere and personalities associated with the sport. This page features the second installment of Miura Jun's column, The Cheerful Prince King, titled Onseniri Game. The author reflects on classic arcade games that have found a new home in hot spring resort towns after fading from mainstream arcades, affectionately terming them Onseniri games. He recounts encountering titles like Kung Fu Master and Xevious in these locales, and expresses fondness for Mooncresta, which he feels still possesses 100 yen pride. The essay dives into his experience playing Altered Beast, highlighting the challenge but also the enjoyment of transforming into different beasts, particularly the bear who shoots beams. The column also touches upon Fist of the North Star, mentioning its creator Buronson and the origin of his pen name from Charles Bronson, as well as commenting on old-school gamer nicknames. The page is illustrated with characters playing these games and transforming, capturing the nostalgic theme. This page presents a lineup of computer magazines from SoftBank Japan, highlighting publications catering to different segments of the burgeoning computer market in late 1989. Featured titles include O, PC, OX, OFM, and O, Computer, alongside a specialized magazine for the Information Processing Technician exam. O, PC delves into popular software like Lotus 123, and practical topics, such as mastering hard disks and NISDOS. O, X focuses on hardware like hard drives and printers for the Sharp X68000 platform, covering programming and system-specific software. O, FM targets users of the FM Towns and FM 7/8 series, with content on graphics creation, programming, and software reviews. O, Computer offers a broader perspective on industry trends, examining emerging technologies like notebook computers, and profiling significant companies and market strategies of the time. The inclusion of an exam preparation magazine underscores the growing importance of its qualifications. Collectively, these magazines showcase the diverse interests of Japanese computer users, ranging from specific platform expertise in programming to hardware trends and career development. This page details the third Namcot Game Tournament, a competition featuring 8 teams from various Japanese gaming publications and Namco itself. The participating teams included well-known names like Famicom Tsushin, later Famitsu, Famicom, Hishoban, Beep, and others. The magazine team Beeped, expecting a low finish, actually performed surprisingly well, securing 5th place overall. The tournament featured competition across 3 Namcot titles: Karunaguru, World Court, and Famista 89 Opening Edition. The page provides a list of the players representing each team in these games. Notably, Beep's strong performance, especially in Famista 89, where they placed second, is attributed to their representative, Silhouette Saito. Detailed results for each game, including individual match scores and team standings, are presented in separate tables, showing Beep finished 6th in both Karunaguru and World Court, before their strong showing in Famista 89 lifted their overall position. The page features a photo of some participants or staff involved in the event. This page delves deeper into the recent Namcot Game Tournament, featuring personal accounts from the Beep magazine team members who competed. The representative for Karunaguru reflects on his disappointing last-place finish, sharing the rather severe consequences he faced from the editorial department. He highlights the challenge of mastering the game without sufficient time to develop his character. Meanwhile, the Beep team for World Court, which seemed to be an improvised duo, offers their perspective, humorously defending their mid-table finish, given their lack of preparation. The spotlight then turns to Silhouette Saito, the Beep player who excelled in Famista 89. He confidently describes his performance, recounting intense matches, including a notable loss against a skilled opponent from another publication, while also highlighting his own strong play. The page includes a table detailing the points scored by each team in all 3 games: Karunaguru, World Court, Famista 89, and the overall totals, reinforcing the results discussed on the previous page. A general review section concludes the coverage, praising the energy and excitement of the 10.5-hour-long tournament, and specifically acknowledging Silhouette Saito's efforts. The accompanying images show participants during the event and portraits of the Beep contributors. This page provides a detailed look at the Namcot tournament results and commentary, highlighting Beep's performance through personal accounts. This page presents another Phantasy Star II story, promising insights into the game's creation that the reader might not know. It kicks off by reflecting on how beloved software like Phantasy Star II comes into being and introduces Sega Enterprises, providing details like its founding date, employee count, and capital, painting a picture of the company behind the games. The core of the feature delves into the planning and development of Phantasy Star II, interviewing key Sega staff members, including directors and department heads, involved in consumer affairs, planning, and R&D. They discuss the project's origins, the challenges faced during its roughly year-and-a-half development, such as having to drop 3D dungeons due to cartridge capacity limitations, but focusing on enhancing the character's animated visuals. Developing Phantasy Star II as the first RPG for the Mega Drive, Genesis, is highlighted as a significant effort, bringing both tension and new possibilities. The page also includes images of the Phantasy Star II logo, box art, a character illustration, a photo of the Sega head office, and a photo of a staff member mentioned in a caption referencing the previous issue. This page continues the deep dive into Phantasy Star II's development, featuring illustrations of Niui and Rolf alongside text and a photo of executive director Suzuki-san, noted for his passion for game creation. The discussion highlights the immense pressure of following up a successful title like Phantasy Star I, emphasizing the need to meet user expectations and preserve the series' reputation. Development involved overcoming budget constraints, revising plans frequently, and navigating the inherent difficulty in perfecting game quality, acknowledging that sometimes projects might even stop if they aren't hitting the mark. For Phantasy Star II, development was relatively smooth, reaching the critical stage where the master room was complete, the technical end of creation. However, the battle wasn't over, with debugging, packaging design, and mass production still to come before the game reached players. The page also provides a comprehensive flowchart illustrating Sega's software development process, from the birth of a game concept and project team formation, through various checks during development, basic screen, playable stage, master room creation, production, debugging, packaging, room burning, printing, distribution via wholesalers to retailers, and finally mass media promotion before landing in the hands of the user. The chart visualizes the iterative nature, with points for approval, revision, and potential halts along the way. The next page delves into the final stages of the Phantasy Star II saga, moving from development completion to getting the game into players' hands. It discusses the crucial production and distribution phases, highlighting the meticulous checks performed on goods from the factory, and the unfortunate reality that sometimes defects can still occur during transport, despite the effort to build trust with consumers. The conversation then shifts to the marketing efforts for Phantasy Star II. Rather than solely focusing on specialist magazines, Sega utilized the game's strong name value for broader promotional campaigns, including public relations efforts that began even before the game was fully completed. They mention the challenge of setting the game's price, but ultimately, the title was a huge success with users, contributing significantly to sales of the Genesis hardware itself. The page also features a photo of a smiling Sega executive discussing these points, and a silhouette of the series' development lead, along with a photo showing off the Sega head office lobby lined with Genesis consoles and new games. The next page dives deep into the world of Phantasy Star II, prominently featuring the title, "We Love Fantasy." The initial text continues the discussion from the previous page, touching upon the extensive efforts of the sales department, including market research at stores and reporting on launch day crowds, highlighting their crucial behind-the-scenes work. The main focus shifts to introducing Phantasy Star II itself. The story is set 1,000 years after the events involving Elisa, describing the eruption of malicious biomonsters on Motavia and the agents of the Motavian government, including the protagonists, who rise to combat them. The page then introduces the main cast of characters, with accompanying illustrations and brief descriptions. We meet Rolf, the government agent protagonist, a character with mixed biomonster and human blood who grows rapidly after meeting Rolf. Rudo, a former Motavian soldier transformed into a cool hired hunter after biomonsters killed his wife. Amy, the kind doctor who risks her own life to help comrades. Hugh, a young Motavian university researcher with deep knowledge of biology and medicine. Sure Gold, the wealthy daughter who makes a living as a thief.
Kynes, a professional destruction expert and junk dealer who is attracted to Ney, and Anna, a counterhunter professional adept at use. His page serves as a great primer, offering glimpses into the game's premise, and the diverse group of companions Rolf will gather on his journey. The text details the launch and reception of Phantasy Star II. Sega staff, likely interviewed, recount the excitement of release day and the thrill of witnessing player anticipation. They note the game's strong performance after the original. The team considered features like 3D dungeons, though not fully implemented. Pre-launch preparation for a sequel was already underway. User engagement was high, evident in the influx of support calls. The page visually showcases the game through its box art, a Mega Drive console, and battle screenshots from an intensive TV campaign. An illustration of a character and a silhouetted interviewee are also present. The interview concludes by acknowledging the resources required for creating quality games, the growth of third-party developers for the Mega Drive, and the anticipation for future software releases that would leverage the console's full potential. This page is the first part of a series titled Technology Trend Communication, focusing on the current state and potential future of Klydrum technology. The main question posed is the dead Crendrum coming back to life? Referencing past skepticism about the format, notably a comment attributed to Steve Jobs that Crendrum was dead. The author, Agi Nihyaku, discusses the lack of a compelling killer application for Crendrum, comparing the current situation to the impact of games like Super Mario for the Famicom, NES. The article explains different CD standards beyond basic CD-ROM, such as CD Interactive, CDI, CD Extended Architecture, CDXA, and Digital Video Interactive, DVI, highlighting their features like interactivity and integrated video. Key industry players like Sony, Philips, and Matsushita are mentioned in relation to developing these standards. The author also notes Nintendo's expressed interest in CDI technology and points out the significant detail that the CDI platform uses the same Motorola 68000 CPU as the Mega Drive. The piece speculates that the current lull in Klydrum releases could be the quiet before a major technological breakthrough, hinting at exciting developments to come. A brief note also touches upon production issues with magneto-optical discs used in NEX computers. This page features a large photo of manga artist Fujio Akatsuka, known for works like Osomatsu-kun and Tensai Bakaban, wearing a distinctive Disney hat. A speech bubble next to him humorously declares, "If you don't read it, it's the death penalty." The page title announces a Big Talk with Fujio Akatsuka. A preceding text box sets the stage, noting that the Osomatsu-kun game for Mega Drive was ranked Worst Software #1 in a reader survey, failing to capture the character's charm. The magazine decided to consult the creator himself, Akatsuka, to discuss his unbreakable characters. The main article delves into Akatsuka's perspective on modern manga, stating it began with the legendary Osamu Tezuka, whom he viewed as a god. Akatsuka discusses Tezuka's immense influence on his own work and the evolution of manga. He recounts Tezuka's advice to aspiring manga artists, emphasizing the importance of watching movies and listening to music, particularly jazz. He also shares Tezuka's notable comment, "You're vulgar, that's fine, just don't draw boring things." The page includes small images of covers from Tezuka's famous work, Princess Knight. This section highlights Akatsuka's deep respect for Tezuka, and how Tezuka shaped the direction of modern Japanese comics. This page continues the discussion with manga artist Fujio Akatsuka, focusing on the history and evolution of manga, specifically the third manga boom. Akatsuka talks about how manga has become a deeply ingrained part of Japanese culture, read by people of all ages, not just kids. He mentions the influence of earlier works and artists, recalling the post-war period with rental bookstores, and the emergence of influential artists. He discusses the different manga booms throughout history. The page features a large image of The Rose of Versailles manga cover, and its creator, Ryoko Ikeda, is mentioned as a major figure. Akatsuka reflects on the differences between earlier artists like Osamu Tezuka, whom he held in high regard, and the creators of later generations, noting how Tezuka's unique upbringing influenced his groundbreaking work like Princess Knight. He touches upon the changing landscape of publishing and how artists found their start. The profile box gives a brief biography of Fujio Akatsuka himself, mentioning his birth in China and key works like Osomatsu-kun. This page continues the conversation with legendary manga artist Fujio Akatsuka, using the upcoming revival of his classic series Osomatsu-kun as a springboard to discuss the changing times. Akatsuka reflects on the differences between generations, noting how kids today are quick to adapt to new media like computer and Famicom, NES, games,
but perhaps at the cost of human connection, becoming isolated in their rooms playing alone. He contrasts this with the past and shares his perspective on various forms of entertainment. He mentions the popularity of detective dramas like Columbo and Japanese suspense shows, appreciating their twists and turns. Images on the page include covers for Doraemon, Nobita's Dinosaur, and Tsurupika Hagemaru, highlighting prominent works from the era. Akatsuka discusses the evolution of media consumption and expresses concern over the perceived weakening of human interaction in modern society. This page continues the insightful discussion with legendary manga artist Fujio Akatsuka. He reflects on the importance of having a strong policy or creative vision in manga and other media like movies, lamenting that without it, creators might not know what to draw. He uses Columbo as an example of how a compelling character drives a work. Akatsuka touches upon his own characters, like those from Osomatsu-kun and Tensai Bakaban, and how they adapt to different situations and stories thanks to their strong personalities. He contrasts his generation's creative process, which involves meticulous refinement to achieve perfection before releasing work, with the younger generation's tendency to quickly create and release content, whether it's shooting a video or making a game. He argues that the works that remain and endure are those crafted with painstaking effort. The page is illustrated with panels from Osomatsu-kun, featuring the iconic sextuplets Iyami, Chibita, and Hatabo, along with a cover image of a Osomatsu-kun manga volume. This page features a large illustration celebrating a 3 million units achieved milestone, depicted with a sleeping rabbit representing the Super Famicom with a Game Boy, a turtle representing the PC Engine stating it doesn't matter, and a character singing about Mega Drive, suggesting a competitive console landscape. The main article is titled, "What is the Significance of the Mega Drive?", posing a crucial question about the console's identity and purpose in the market. The text delves into the current state of the Mega Drive, discussing its position relative to competitors like the PC Engine, particularly focusing on the software library. It touches on games like Tetris, Phantom Sister 2i, Power Drift, Fist of the North Star, and Altered Beast within the context of the console's software output and appeal. The reviewer feels that many Mega Drive games lack a certain feel or quality compared to the competition, which they see as a major hurdle. The discussion outlines strategies for the Mega Drive to push towards its own sales goals, including focusing on software development, the overseas market, and third-party support. The article concludes by inviting readers to share their opinions and requests regarding the Mega Drive's future direction. This page presents an in-depth analysis of the console market, titled, TV Game Industry, Three Kingdoms, Mega Drive 3 million units Popularization Strategy, Introduction, penned by salaryman game critic Yutaka Kondo. The article frames the competitive landscape as a battle between the Super Famicom, PC Engine, and Mega Drive. While the Super Famicom is viewed as a significant future threat, its perceived delays position the immediate conflict as primarily between the Mega Drive and the PC Engine. Kondo examines the Mega Drive's strategy to push towards a target of 3 million units sold. Key reasons cited for the Mega Drive's potential success include leveraging strong third-party support, with Namco specifically highlighted for bringing quality arcade ports. The article also notes the advantage the Mega Drive's CPU offered to developers familiar with systems like the X68000, and the substantial success being achieved in the United States market. The influence of Klydrom technology and its implications for console power and price are also touched upon as factors in the evolving market. Kondo concludes by questioning the Mega Drive's long-term stability and whether it can truly secure a dominant position in the market 2 years from now. This page analyzes the console war between Super Famicom, Mega Drive, and PC Engine, detailing Mega Drive's strategy for reaching 3 million units. This page features a long-form narrative piece, seemingly a fictional story or essay, rather than typical gaming content. It follows a character named Satoru and their mother, focusing on a dream sequence involving flying, space, and transformation. The story touches on themes of reality, simulations, genetics, and a mysterious location called the White Kara. It's a distinct departure from the hardware and market analysis of the previous page, reading more like a science fiction short story, exploring consciousness and existence through a dreamlike lens. No specific games or game-related characters are mentioned. This page features the first installment of an SF fantasy novel titled To the Continuation of the Dream, written by Yu Nakano. The story follows the character Satoru, a 7-year-old boy in a futuristic city, as he experiences
A vivid dream. The narrative delves into the world of genetic programming, Satoru's profession, where information is immense and technology highly specialized. The society relies on manipulating genes and creating simulations to experience life and reality. The story introduces the concept of a biosimulation game that allows users to experience anything imaginable, even things that don't exist, or events from the distant past. Satoru's work involves analyzing genetic data and creating these simulations, blurring the lines between the real and the virtual. The accompanying illustration depicts a serene natural landscape, likely contrasting with the described futuristic urban setting and potentially representing the world within the dreams or simulations. This page continues the exploration of consciousness, reality, and futuristic technology through a narrative format. This page kicks off with a mixed bag of info, starting with a look at an exploratorium exhibition focused on science play, inspired by the San Francisco original. It sounds like an interactive science museum vibe. Then we shift to the Come information section. First up is a video release for the horror flick Halloween 2 Wine, Season of the Witch. Apparently, this version packs some 60s and 70s tunes and is hitting video stores. Not a game, but hey, maybe good background viewing for some intense sessions. Next, we get to something relevant for us Mega Drive players. The first dedicated joystick, the Sigma G7 Turbo. This thing looks like a beast, sporting a large metal case and offering features like adjustable rapid fire. What's cool is it's not just for Mega Drive. You can hook this heavy-duty stick up to Master System, Famicom, Atari, and even the PC Engine with an adapter cord. Definitely a serious piece of hardware for arcade action fans. Finally, there's a mention of a card game called Tax Evasion Heaven. This one sounds like a satirical take on making money through questionable means, featuring cards depicting politicians and using ains or tricky plays to get ahead. It seems like a lighthearted, somewhat dark look at the world of finance and politics, played out on cards rather than a console. This page reviews 3 diverse gaming experiences. First is Paradise Ghost, a horror board game where players, resembling Ghostbusters, exorcise ghosts using talismans. The reviewer highlights the cute, Pac-Man-like ghost pawns and calls it a lively party game of luck and strategy. It was released by Yonezawa. Next is Pantacle, a gamebook where players control Mezzalon, a powerful banished prince in a magical land. The author prioritizes magic use and unique mazes over lengthy travel descriptions. Published by Sojin Suiri Bunko. Lastly, there's a gamebook adaptation of the SF game Jesus, following a comic crisis. The reviewer praises its engaging, anime-like structure, calling it a solid entry for fans of the original P-AIN Famicom game. Published by Enix Bunko. This page features a review of a book titled Dragon Quest Monster Story, which compiles episodes about the various monsters from the iconic Dragon Quest series. The reviewer appreciates that the book offers additional lore and stories about the monsters that weren't detailed in the games, creating another enjoyable dimension to the Dragon Quest universe. They note it feels like an old-fashioned collection of tales. Also featured is a report on 2 distinct events. The first is an event called Tomita SoundCloud in Yokohama, a large-scale spectacle combining light, sound, and fireworks masterminded by Isao Tomita, held in conjunction with an international fireworks festival. The reviewer highlights the impressive synergy between the powerful bass frequencies and the music and fireworks displays. The second event report covers TV Game Island at Enoshima Seaside Plaza, where the video game industry made a notable summer appearance. The event featured attendees, including those in swimsuits, enjoying games together. There is also a brief mention of a novelty item, the Moonies doll, which is a joke item from America distributed by Sega Enterprises. This page features an article titled, Search for the King of Cheap, Tokyo Super Cheap Shop Investigation Team. This piece is a detailed report from a team of investigators seeking out the best deals on Sega Mega Drive games across Tokyo. They cover various districts known for electronics and games, including Ikebukuro, Shinjuku, Akihabara, and Kandaogawamachi, comparing prices and the overall shopping experience at different stores. The article highlights that while discounts are common, finding the absolute cheapest prices requires diligent searching across multiple locations. They note varying price points for games like Fist of the North Star, Thunder Force 2 MD, and Phantasy Star 2, as well as hardware like the Mega Drive console and the Mega Adapter. They also found surprisingly low prices on older titles,
sometimes selling for just a few hundred yen, including games like Maze Walker and Galactic Protector for the Mark II I/Master System via the adapter. The investigation team shares their personal experiences, including the frustration of buying a game only to find it cheaper elsewhere later, and the joy of discovering a true bargain. They observe that price levels can sometimes be surprisingly similar within the same area. The article includes a cartoon illustration of two rock and roll characters, seemingly unrelated to specific games, but perhaps setting a rebellious or energetic tone for the hunt. Ultimately, the piece offers a gamer's perspective on the value of scouting for deals in the competitive Tokyo retail landscape. A reader, a longtime Beep subscriber, writes to a new Mega Drive magazine, expressing strong opinions on Phantasy Star II. Initially disappointed, they labeled it crappy, but later praised its graphics, sound, and monster animations. Despite appreciating the technical aspects, they felt the game's scenario was thin and linear, contrasting with advertising's promises of a vast, explorable world. They were particularly let down by the lack of exploration and the perceived brevity compared to the hype and the game's length. The reader hoped the new magazine would foster open discussion about Sega games, particularly as they felt the readers section in previous publications had been lacking. This page features the BeepMD reader section, where fans offer feedback and opinions. Readers suggest the magazine includes sections for submitting game ideas and provide more coverage on Sega's peripheral plans. A reader continues their critique of Phantasy Star II, expressing disappointment with its linearity and simple structure despite acknowledging Sega's hardware capability. Asserting their love for Sega fuels their criticism. Other readers suggest porting PC titles like Dungeon Master and Balance of Power to the Genesis, discussing the potential for such ports if a disk drive were available. The section reflects reader desires for Sega to improve its software library through better internal development and international collaboration. Illustrations include a hope for online-enabled racing games on the Genesis and a humorous drawing reacting to gaming, possibly Tetris. This page continues the Things I Want to Say to the Industry reader section, where fans provide feedback to game companies. Readers express their opinions on Sega's Genesis library and development choices. One fan is happy about Namco's entry into the Genesis market, but questions the decision to port Felios, fearing the Genesis might struggle to replicate the arcade version's scaling and rotation effects and complex bosses. They feel games like Dragon Spirit and Genpei Tomaden might be better suited for the hardware, and encourage Namco to develop more original titles for the system. Other readers discuss the quality of background graphics in some Sega games, and highlight technical achievements by companies like Konami on platforms such as MSX and Famicom, urging Sega to fully utilize the Genesis hardware to create similarly impressive software. There's a request for Sega to release the Cyberstick peripheral. The overall tone is a desire for Sega to push the Genesis to its limits and focus on creating high-quality, innovative games. The page also features reader-submitted artwork, including a drawing related to Turbo Outrun and an original character design. The next page features the Urawaza Hotline, a section filled with game tips submitted by readers. These include helpful hints like methods for continuing gameplay in Last Battle, a specific strategy for achieving strikeouts in the baseball title Super League, and advice on hitting targets in Space Harrier 2. Following this, the Circle Introduction section lists fan clubs, providing details on their activities, such as exchanging game information and holding tournaments, along with contact information. The lower part of the page is dedicated to reader artwork under the title, Greeting for This Issue. These illustrations showcase the vibrant fan community and their enthusiasm for the Mega Drive, depicting characters from popular games like Golden Axe and Super Monaco GP, often accompanied by messages celebrating the console. This page is packed with reader engagement. Under the bold heading, Submissions Wanted! Quote, the editorial team thanks readers for their contributions and announces several exciting new columns they need content for. They're looking for everything from letters expressing opinions directly to the game industry, requests for porting specific games, including board games, and original monochrome illustrations or 4-panel manga. They also want gaming anecdotes, ideas for the ultimate game copyrights, introductions to eccentric fellow gamers, and topics for an all-night heated debate that kicks off with the classic controller versus joystick argument. Perhaps most interestingly, they are soliciting game design ideas, even offering to back promising submissions for potential product realization, aiming to find the next Yuji Horii. The section also proposes a strategy centered around hitting 3 million Mega Drive units sold to elevate Sega. Adjacent to this is
This month's Best Illustrations 3, showcasing 3 winning reader artworks. The first is a humorous fan concept pitting Super Mario, depicted as a monster, against a realistic type Alex Kidd. The second features characters from the classic arcade game Forgotten Worlds.
The third illustration depicts a powerful tank from the Super Daisen Ryaku strategy game series. These pieces highlight the diverse interests and creative talents within the Mega Drive fanbase. The page concludes with details on how readers can submit their contributions, providing the magazine's address and submission guidelines.
This page features a detailed look at the upcoming game titled Moondancer, Making of the Fairy King. The article provides insight into the game's structure, story, background world, and system, based on information from the development staff. The story is divided into 3 parts, following the protagonist as Rail, also known as Moondancer, on his quest involving magic, resurrection, and the retrieval of divine treasures to save a kingdom. The world is described as the magic-dominated kingdom of Cymerfergent, reminiscent of a European setting, populated by humans, elves, and dwarves. A key highlight is the game's system, a command-based adventure where time passes with command selection. It emphasizes emotional relationships between Israel and his companions through an EP value system, which directly impacts gameplay and combat. The developers are calling this new approach a Fantasy Emotion Game, FEG. Screenshots show a town scene, a battle sequence with character sprites, and a world map, giving a glimpse into the game's visuals and interface.
This page introduces the key characters from the upcoming game, Moondancer, Making of the Fairy King. It provides portraits and brief descriptions of the individuals as Cariel, the protagonist featured on the previous page, will encounter on his quest. Leading the lineup is Azrael Sephaeith, the main character known for his exceptional battle intuition. He was once a loyal follower but awakened after a pivotal event involving his friend Kurakan Ambrogian, leading him to seek freedom and embark on a journey to restore the Cymergent kingdom and find Kurakan's lost body. Kurakan himself is featured, despite his fate, as a soul who remains a supportive companion to his Kefrail. Other notable characters include Altamira Kristila, a childhood friend and warrior who joins Azrael's search, and Shavara Arzarian, Kurakan's twin sister seeking her brother after learning of her origins. The roster also features mysterious figures like Magica Shields, a wandering poet associated with misfortune, and Kazunak, a powerful dark mage connected to Lunia, who controls surveillance and opposes ambitious schemes. Additional allies include Quentina, another sister of Kuraan with hidden magic, Anaha, a spirit mage manipulating wind as a messenger, Milua Azushiara, who searches for Kuraan to repay a debt, and Original Muhai, a wise guardian of the natural world. The page provides a glimpse into the diverse cast central to Azrael's emotional journey in this unique fantasy emotion game. This page continues introducing the key players in Moondancer, Making of the Fairy King. You'll find portraits and descriptions for several more characters Azrael will encounter. Among them are Arimel Georg, a young woman grappling with inherited power, and Rua, a seeker potentially linked to Azrael. There's also Nimain, a mysterious mage with ties to a powerful family, and Lunia, the Watcher of the Age, a formidable light mage opposing dark forces. More allies are presented, including Gorsel Vamps, a weapon-savvy fighter from a blacksmith background, and Miura Icefols, a survivor aiding the Cymergent restoration alongside Azrael. You'll also meet Skor Stanza, who has traveled with Kuroxon, and Jean Gracing Tenvil, a fiery mage driven by revenge. The page rounds out with figures involved in conflicts, such as Brad Moon, an assassin with a surprising connection to Shavara, and Asterin Skuld and Vogel Asantia, both marked by encounters with the antagonist Wei AVN. This expanded cast highlights the complex relationships and intertwined destinies central to Azrael's quest. This page features a travel article titled, Travel Wears Out Shoes, Japan RPG Journey, by Takeo Ijima. The specific focus of this installment is The First Night, Terror of Akame 48 Waterfalls. The article appears to be a personal account of a trip the author took, linking the real-world locations and experiences, particularly those related to ninja lore like Akame, to his work in game development and RPGs. The text likely delves into how these experiences might inspire or relate to game design, possibly touching on ninja-themed titles. Prominently displayed at the bottom is a large, lively cartoon illustration by name Kodu Hanpo, It depicts a group of characters in a somewhat perilous, dark setting. Among them is a ninja figure, other characters with exaggerated expressions, and skeletons. Humorous dialogue is included, with one character searching for Momochi's house, and another holding what is playfully questioned as a certain Nintendo Game Boy. The illustration captures a mix of adventure, difficulty, and humor related to the journey described in the article, likely referencing challenges or comical situations encountered during the trip that resonate with RPG tropes. This page presents the results of a reader survey titled, Beep, Mega Data Land. What kind of man reads Beep Mega? The central illustration shows a young man enjoying a snack, surrounded by magazines, and his Sega Mega Drive console, complete with cartridges and a controller, representing the typical reader. The survey reveals insights into the readership, noting that only 1% are female, with the majority being high school students, followed by middle schoolers and college students. A significant 37% requested monthly publication. When asked about other magazines they read, Famitsu was the most popular, with Login coming in second. The page includes several Best 5 lists based on the survey. The most anticipated software releases included Gradius 2, the YS series, The Adventure of Valkyrie, Turbo Outrun, and Phantasy Star II. More excitingly, the survey ranks the Best Games 5 and Worst Games 5. Readers' favorites were Phantasy Star II, Thunder Force 2, Super Daisen Ryaku, Ghouls on Ghosts, and Fist of the North Star. On the flip side, the games they disliked the most were Osomatsu-kun, Altered Beast, Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle, Space Harrier 2, and Super Thunderblade. It's fascinating to see games like Altered Beast, which was a launch title, ranked among the least favorite by the readership. The page also briefly touches on favorite TV shows, magazines, monthly allowances, and popular talents, giving a snapshot of the reader's interests. This page presents the Mega Drive Best 5, a sales ranking compiled by the magazine based on data from retailers between June and July 1989. Topping the list is Fist of the North Star, recognized for its intense action. The ranking continues with the baseball title Super League, followed by the platformer Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle, known for its challenging final area. The notoriously difficult shooter Thunder Force 2 takes the 4th spot, and rounding out the top 5 is Super Thunderblade, despite the page listing it incorrectly as Super Stadium. It's quite interesting to see this sales chart compared to the reader survey from the previous page, as some games high in sales here were ranked low in reader preference. The page also includes a schedule detailing upcoming software releases and notes that Ghouls and Ghosts is among the games currently selling very well. The software schedule lists upcoming games with their developers, cartridge sizes, and prices. This page features a special report titled Hot-Blooded Mega Drive Declaration, showcasing the passion of the developers supporting the console. The introductory text describes these burning men throwing their fists towards the sun, representing the intensity they put into creating games for the Mega Drive. The article focuses on several key third-party developers: Technosoft, Sun Denshi, Asmic, and Messiah, NCS. Images show representatives from these companies wearing boxing gloves, symbolizing their fighting spirit in the gaming market. There's even a cheerful pink creature featured alongside the Asmic representative. A central banner proclaims them the hot-blooded manufacturer army supporting the Mega Drive. This contrasts nicely with the previous page's look at player preference and sales, highlighting the energy the developers are putting into delivering the games players are buying and enjoying. It's a look behind the scenes at the dedication driving the software lineup. This page kicks off a special feature titled Hot-Blooded Mega Drive Declaration, proclaiming that a new era for the system has arrived. The main image shows several Sega representatives in discussion, underscoring their focus on the console's future. The article highlights that while the future relies heavily on third parties, Sega itself is pushing hard. They're actively engaging with users to address feedback and questions, demonstrating their own passion. Sega forecasts reaching 1 million units sold for the hardware. Key points discussed include the improved software development environment for the Mega Drive, which has boosted third-party involvement. Importantly, Sega reveals internal changes, allowing teams beyond just the consumer division to develop software, citing Super Hang-In as an example created by a business team. There's a strong push to create more than just direct arcade ports, focusing on adding value and making games more interesting. This commitment to higher quality software development is expected to become a widespread trend, one that users are keenly anticipating. This page continues the discussion on the Mega Drive's progress, featuring an interview with Sega's R&D leadership, Mr. Suzuki and Mr. Sato. They emphasize how valuable user feedback is, seeing it as a sign of dedication from fans. A key focus is the upcoming modem service. They explain that users will be able to download games over the phone line. The data transfer for a game takes about 5 minutes, with the cost based on the phone call duration. Initial downloadable titles include Telephone Mahjong and a baseball game, and they are considering other types like quiz games. The target release window for the modem is around late November. The growth of third-party support is also highlighted. They state that 20 companies currently have confirmed titles, with plans to reach 25 soon. While not in the initial 20, companies like Capcom and Data East are confirmed to be participating. Konami's potential involvement is mentioned, but no decision has been reached yet. This page continues the conversation from the previous one, focusing on the Sega Mega Drive. The third-party trends section delves deeper into support, mentioning companies like Koei, SystemSoft, and T&E Soft expressing interest, although contracts are still pending. The interviewees discuss the current third-party lineup having a genre bias towards shooting and side-scrolling games, but state Sega is actively working to provide strong support to encourage genre diversity. Another major topic is the status of Tetris for the Mega Drive under the section, What Happens with Tetris? Sega confirms they have the license from Atari and want to release the game. However, there is a legal issue due to the ongoing lawsuit in America between Atari and Nintendo over Tetris rights. Sega is waiting for the final judgment before proceeding, with Mr. Kameda apologizing to users for the delay. The discussion also briefly touches on Sega games, like Power Drift being released on other platforms, such as the PC Engine, before the Mega Drive version. Mr. Yano clarifies this isn't strategic, but rather a result of Sega's development staff being ambitious and wanting to work on various projects, including porting arcade titles, other companies' games, and developing originals. The screenshot shown on the page is indeed the arcade racing game, Power Drift. The individuals featured are Mr. Kameda from Sega's home video sales department and Mr. Yakino from research and development planning. This page continues the conversation with Sega staff, touching on game release strategies and the challenges of porting titles like Power Drift to the Mega Drive. They discuss new initiatives, including the development of an action RPG called Vermilion, and mention another title, Sorcerian. The screenshot shows a scene from Sorcerian, a classic RPG by Falcom. The discussion shifts towards a new era of game development, emphasizing the need to create games that appeal to a broader audience than just hardcore enthusiasts. Using Tetris as an example of a game enjoyed by everyone, including women. Looking ahead, they talk about the status of FDD and CD-ROM peripherals. While the hardware is ready, the cost is high, and Sega believes they need to innovate gameplay rather than just enabling existing types of games. For other peripherals, an RGB cable is unlikely due to low demand, but development on joysticks and control sticks is underway, linked to their efforts in America, with a release expected next year. The interview concluded in August 1989, incorporating questions sent in by readers. This page is a special feature focusing on Technosoft, one of the first developers to support the Mega Drive. It highlights their initial release, Thunder Force 2 MD, which is a port of their acclaimed X68000 title. The article includes an interview with Technosoft CEO, Mr. Uzono, where he discusses the positive user feedback for Thunder Force 2 MD and the technical challenges involved in bringing the game to the Mega Drive platform, particularly regarding data compression. Mr. Uzono outlines Technosoft's future plans, mentioning a forthcoming real-time simulation game, likely Herzog Zwei, and expressing interest in continuing the Thunder Force series. He also touches on their approach to game development, emphasizing the goal of creating high-quality titles that push the boundaries of the Mega Drive's capabilities in terms of gameplay, graphics, and sound. A screenshot of Thunder Force 2 MD is featured, showcasing the game's intense shooting action. A brief company history timeline is also included, detailing their origins and key milestones, including their entry into the Mega Drive market. This page highlights Technosoft's early commitment to the Mega Drive, with Thunder Force 2 MD, and their ambition for future high-quality releases like Herzog Zwei. This page features ASMIC and their commitment to the Mega Drive platform under the title Hot-Blooded Mega Drive Declaration. ASMIC, originally involved in diverse media like video and film distribution, entered the game market supporting various consoles, including the Mega Drive. The page includes an interview with Mr. Kaneko from ASMIC, where he discusses their decision to develop for the Mega Drive, influenced by their existing relationship with Sega. Their first Mega Drive title is Super Hydlide, an enhanced version of the classic RPG. Mr. Kaneko highlights the Mega Drive's capabilities in delivering crisp graphics and sound, making it a suitable platform for Super Highlight. He contrasts the strengths of different hardware platforms, noting the Mega Drive excels in action-oriented genres, though they chose Super Highlight partly for development speed. He expresses hope for strong sales of Mega Drive software, emphasizing the significant time and effort required for high-performance titles. Mr. Kaneko concludes by stating that Super Highlight on Mega Drive improves upon the original's limitations, such as slow scrolling and character visibility. He also mentions changes to dungeon layouts and item placements from previous versions, encouraging players to fully enjoy the game. A screenshot of Super Highlight's gameplay is shown, displaying the game's perspective and use in elements like player stats and the time system. This page features Sunsoft and their hot-blooded Mega Drive declaration, following the theme from the previous page, focusing on companies supporting the platform. The article includes an interview with Mr. Eguchi from Sunsoft's Software Business Department. Sunsoft highlights their long-standing relationship with Sega, having previously ported games like Fantasy Zone and Afterburner to other platforms. Mr. Eguchi discusses Sunsoft's approach to developing for various hardware, emphasizing the need to tailor software to each system's strengths. For the Mega Drive, they are releasing the Telltale series, indicating a focus on communication-based gaming, likely utilizing a modem. Screenshots show two titles from this series: Telltale Stadium, which appears to be a baseball game, and Telltale Mahjong. The interview touches upon the potential challenges and unique aspects of modem gaming, such as telephone costs, but sees potential for head-to-head matches. Sunsoft aims to leverage their development experience across platforms like the Famicom and PC to create compelling software for the Mega Drive that will make players happy. They are also exploring development for the Super Famicom, aiming to differentiate their titles across various gaming machines. A brief company history timeline is included, noting their start in textiles, expansion into arcades and computers, and overseas export of software. This page features NCS, Nihon Computer Systems, and their hot-blooded Mega Drive declaration, highlighting their strong team taking on the platform. It features an interview with Mr. Yasumasa Shirakura, director of the Software Products Department, and Mr. Akio Matsuda, Public Relations Manager. NCS explains their motivation for joining the Mega Drive market, emphasizing their excitement for 16-bit hardware and the opportunity to compete in a major market. They state that while they are known for simulation games like the Aoki Ukami series, they are eager to expand into all genres. Their second Mega Drive title is the action shooting game Assault Suits Lanos, shown in a screenshot. They plan to release software at a steady pace, aiming for 23 titles by March of the following year, then one title every 4 months. While their focus is primarily on original software, they are open to ports from other platforms. They are particularly interested in the potential of the Mega Drive Cladrom as a new medium, and are also exploring modem capabilities. Regarding the Super Famicom, they welcome the release of new hardware and plan to dedicate more resources to development before entering that market. Their message to Mega Drive users is a promise to create unique games that stand out from Sega's own titles, spanning a wide range of genres. The page also includes a brief history of NCS and the Messiah label, noting their previous work on titles like Elfled and various PC Engine games. This page features Special Feature 1, a hot-blooded Mega Drive declaration, asking if the Mega Drive is truly fired up. It reflects on the console's journey after nearly a year since launch, noting the initial slow start for software releases, partly due to semiconductor shortages. The article highlights the positive impact of key releases, such as the eagerly awaited Phantasy Star IV, which was a major hit and drew new users. It also mentions the significance of Technosoft's Thunder Force 2 as a strong third-party title that showcase the hardware's potential. A timeline provides a look back at notable early releases like Altered Beast and Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle, alongside the first wave of third-party games, including ports like Capcom's Ghouls and Ghosts, published by Sega. While acknowledging the challenge posed by the upcoming Super Famicom, the feature expresses hope that the Mega Drive will quickly solidify its position. Finally, there's the announcement that Denpa Shimbuncha is entering the Mega Drive market. Known for their quality ports, their first title will be Afterburner, with future releases potentially drawing from their extensive library, including the possibility of porting games like Genpei Tumata. Their entry is seen as a significant boost for Mega Drive users. This page offers overseas reports, starting with news from California about Atari's new portable game machine, the Palm Power, known internationally as the Atari Lynx. This 16-bit color system, featuring impressive graphics capabilities thanks to chips designed by former Amiga staff, is positioned as a direct competitor to Nintendo's Game Boy, despite its higher price and shorter battery life, as seen with the demo game Blue Lightning. The report speculates on the looming battle in the portable market and the wider console war heating up back in Japan. Moving to London, the report covers the anticipation for the Sega Genesis's European launch, expected next January. The reporter visits the Virgin Megastore on Oxford Street, noting its significant display of Sega Master System games, reflecting Virgin's role as the European distributor. Observations from London arcades reveal a strong presence of Japanese titles like Outrun, Image Fight, and Dynasty Wars, often offering generous credits per coin, showcasing Japan's dominance in the arcade scene. Despite hearing Mega Drive units were already in some shops, the reporter couldn't find one, highlighting the anticipation for the official launch. Screenshots from a German Master System catalog are also shown, featuring games like R-Type and Wonder Boy. World Pro Golf Tour, or Supermasters in Japan, is a Sega Mega Drive title released on September 9th for 6,000 yen. The game challenges players to become the #1 golfer, featuring real-life Japanese pros like Joe Ozaki. The game offers 3 modes: tournament, practice, and match play. Tournament mode involves competing in 12 events to earn prize money and become champion across 18-hole courses. Practice mode allows players to hone their skills by adjusting various settings, including wind and skill level, and is crucial for improvement. Match play pits 2 players against each other in hole-by-hole competition. Screenshots showcase key game elements, including the title screen, tournament registration, practice setup, and results screens. Crucially, practice mode's skill level setting improves caddy assistance, and success demands diligent practice. The next page provides crucial details on how to master shots in World Pro Golf Tour, emphasizing that golf is a delicate sport where precise judgment is paramount. It breaks down the key elements needed for a successful shot: understanding the wind, analyzing the ball's lie, selecting the appropriate club, and choosing the correct stance. At higher skill levels, you even get advice from the pro, Joe Ozaki. The game visualizes wind direction and speed, and the lie of the ball in rough or bunkers significantly impacts shot distance. Achieving ball control involves setting the shot direction, adjusting the ball's height to account for wind, and controlling shot power with a meter. For advanced players, manipulating stance is key for techniques like hooking or slicing the ball to navigate challenging holes or crosswinds. Adjusting your foot position determines the curve, with multiple levels of severity available. This page details the JP course in World Pro Golf Tour, a course designed to resemble Japan and set in a deep green forest. It highlights the narrow fairways and tricky bunker placements that will challenge players. While the holes are generally short, making good scores achievable even for less skilled players, the narrow fairways mean a missed first shot can quickly ruin your round, requiring precise ball control. The page then delves into specific holes. Hole 18 emphasizes the importance of the tee shot. Driving over the water hazard offers a chance at a birdie. Checking the green and considering ball lie and club choice are also advised. Hole 16 features a deep valley that isn't the main concern with a driver, but 2 trees in the fairway present the real challenge. Hole 7 warns about a tricky indented water hazard and suggests aiming for a safe 3-on approach, as trying for a 2-on is risky. Finally, hole 14 is described as a typical dogleg, where hooking is interesting, but a 2-on is possible without it, and attempting a shortcut over the trees is impossible. This page features the ETIS course in world-class leaderboard, a stark contrast to the tight Japanese course. This course, set near a large lake, is perfect for power hitters who love wide-open fairways and a liberating America feel. While it rewards length, precision is still vital, particularly on the approach shots. And club selection is crucial to navigate the numerous water hazards. The page highlights several holes. Hole 11 is noted as unusually technical for this course, demanding careful club choice around the green and watchfulness for guard bunkers. Hole 12 presents a tricky fairway bunker that can easily turn a good shot into a 3-on situation, though birdie is attainable if you avoid it. Hole 13's key challenge is the second shot. Eagle is possible if you stay true to the fairway, but a lake looms right behind the green, ready to swallow stray balls. Finally, Hole 7 is a difficult test requiring careful consideration of both wind and hazards, especially the water hazard in front, making smart club choice essential to avoid trouble shots. This page delves into the GB course in world-class leaderboard, highlighting its unique characteristics compared to the UNIS course previously discussed. As the birthplace of golf,
This traditional course is defined by the dense bushes that litter almost every hole. These bushes are a major hazard. Getting caught in one results in an unplayable lie, forcing you to either drop with a penalty or re-hit from the original spot, as shown in the screenshot demonstrating the options. The magazine emphasizes that this course demands exceptional ball control and strategic thinking. Unlike courses where wide fairways are common, the GB course prioritizes keeping the ball out of trouble, often favoring defensive play for par over aggressive birdie attempts. Specific holes are highlighted. Hole 3 exemplifies the unplayable lie situation, with a screenshot showing the caddy's resigned reaction to being stuck in the bush. Hole 4 requires a cautious tee shot to the front fairway, wary of the bush behind the green. Hole 11 offers an interesting strategy, where landing in the front guard bunker after the tee shot is actually preferable to the surrounding hazards, making par achievable from there. Finally, hole 18 features particularly troublesome fairway bushes, making initial shots and positioning the ball difficult, suggesting par is a respectable outcome. The overall message is clear. On the GB course, respect the bushes and play it safe. The next page provides valuable data on golf club performance in world-class leaderboard, focusing on how wind affects distance. The large table serves as a guide, showing approximate distances for different clubs, woods and irons, under 9 meters following wind and no wind conditions, highlighting the significant difference wind can make. A golf memo reinforces the impact of wind, noting that a 9 meters wind can cause a difference of around 30 yards on tee shots, and side winds affect control. Discussing the challenging GB course again, the page covers hazards like bushes, explaining the penalty options when landing in them, as shown in a screenshot of the 8th hole. Another section details different bunker types, cross and guard bunkers, and their specific effects on your next shot or approach, illustrated with a screenshot showing a bunker near the green on the 8th hole. There's also a brief mention of some interesting alternative golf rules you can play with friends. Finally, the page strongly recommends utilizing the practice mode extensively. This allows you to get a feel for how different clubs perform, how wind affects your shots, and how various course conditions impact play, which is crucial for improving your game and gaining an edge in tournaments. The presented club data is noted as a guideline based on level 1 skill and specific clubs, encouraging players to find their own distances through practice. This page jumps into the third part of mastering hot new releases, this time focusing on Sunsoft's Telltale Stadium. It's a baseball game for the Mega Drive, notable for its Telltale communication features, and was highly anticipated alongside Telltale Mahjong. The article addresses common questions that arose after a previous preview, specifically whether a modem is required to play and if you can create your own team. The good news is that you don't need a modem just to play the game. You can definitely create your own custom team using the edit mode, although you'll need to replace one of the 30 preset teams, which the author notes can feel a bit wasteful if you like the existing ones. The game includes various modes like Open Game, Pennant Race, and the modem-based communication match. There's also a watching mode, where you can simply observe games play out, which the author finds surprisingly entertaining. Creating a team is possible, and saves are supported via battery backup. The page emphasizes that despite previous confusion, team creation is a core feature, even if it means overwriting a default team. This page delves deeper into the gameplay mechanics of Sunsoft's Telltale Stadium, specifically detailing the commands available for both offense and defense. There are extensive diagrams illustrating the various options, from batting strategies like hitting, weighting, and course selection, to base running advice and sign plays. On defense, the diagrams show pitching commands like strike/ball calls and brushback pitches, advice for infield and outfield positioning, and defensive strategy commands like bunt shifts. The text discusses the game's nature, contrasting its simulation elements, like sending signs as a manager, with typical action games. The reviewer appreciates that the game uses a modem for online matches, eliminating the frustration often associated with AI opponents in simulation games. They mention other simulation titles like Nectarus, Military Madness, Cosmic Wars, and Super Daigunjutsu, likely Super Daisen Ryaku series, on other platforms, noting the increasing graphical detail in simulation games. The article emphasizes that while playing solo is possible, using the modem for head-to-head matches is absolutely more interesting. The reviewer humorously acknowledges that the game's initial personal data and balance aren't perfect, so modem matches might be somewhat unbalanced for now. The page also features screenshots of the game in action, and a funny illustration of a determined player on fire next to a burnt-out opponent, captioned,
I'll do it! It concludes by soliciting monitors for the Mega Modem and promising further improvements in the next issue. This page profiles all 30 teams in Telltale Stadium, each presented with a summary of their strengths and player rosters. Key stats like batting average and ERA are summarized for each. Teams like the Triggers, strong hitting, Options, powerful pitching, and Spirals, aggressive hitting, showcase distinct styles. Other teams include the CAF, decent pitching, developing lineup, Futures, 2 ace pitchers, Galliots, strong pitching, deep roster, Juniors, regionally represented players, Vegetals, thematically vegetable-based, Excites, potentially strong, Yahoos, powerful hitting, Take G-Gun, high-quality players, Animates, exciting, Summits, international VIPs, and Unions, corporate team. The page offers a glimpse into each team's unique characteristics to help players choose a team. This page continues the detailed breakdown of the teams available in Telltale Stadium, offering insights into their potential performance. Following on from the initial set of teams, we see profiles for the Hopes, Wiles, Brinks, Buckles, Drivers, and Lilacs, each with a summary of their key statistics like batting average, home runs, and ERA, along with a list of their players. Further down, we find more uniquely themed teams such as Sumobeya and Wrestlers, hinting at the game's varied roster. The Kamigatas and Kuyarin add regional flavor, while the Nesters are highlighted as potentially the strongest team. The Reservers and Mazers are also detailed, with commentary suggesting the Mazers are incredibly tough to beat, having 0 losses in 130 games according to the data shown. The Questions team rounds out this selection of profiles. Each team description provides a glimpse into their style, from Hope's balanced roster to Brink's powerful hitting boost from a key player, Driver's formidable offense, and the Lilacs' impressive pitching staff. The data presented, while detailed, is noted to be subject to change, adding an element of unpredictability to the game's simulation or gameplay. This page dives into a surprising new trend: the use of gaming console technology, specifically the PC Engine CD-ROM², known internationally as the TurboGrafx XCD, within the marriage information service industry. Titled, I Want to Know That. The article explores how these services are catering to men of marriageable age. The main feature is a report by programmer Taru Narus, detailing his personal situation as a busy 28-year-old single man with little time for dating, despite owning various game machines like Famicom, Mega Drive, PC-98, and more. He visited MCA21, a marriage information service, which utilizes a system running on the PC Engine CD-ROM². The page includes graphics suggesting the scale of the service, like a claim of over 20,000 married couples. While no specific game is discussed, the focus is on the platform itself being repurposed for a non-gaming application, offering a unique look at the versatility and reach of console technology beyond entertainment in the early 90s. This page details the fascinating and incredibly expensive MCA21 Active Life Network system, which uniquely repurposes the TurboGrafx XCD hardware for a marriage matching service. The full system, including the hardware and a 2-year subscription, costs a staggering 370,000 yen, with additional fees for update CDs delivered periodically. The interface, displayed on the TurboGrafx CD, features a main menu with options for best matching based on initial registration data, self-matching, allowing users to refine searches with specific criteria, and even a rule of love game and 1-point lesson to offer advice. A profile review lets users view details. Interestingly, face photos and personal messages only become visible when a potential meeting is being arranged. This is a truly novel use of console technology, shifting from entertainment to a high-cost, personal matchmaking service. MAC21 Active Life Network uses a Kaleidrom-based system to connect members. The process involves advisor consultations, profile reviews via Kaleidrom, proposal reception, and meeting arrangements. The PC Engine Kaleidrom platform was chosen for its affordability and ease of use, making the service accessible. The Kaleidrom revolutionized the service by allowing members to browse multiple potential matches, 20 to 30, compared to the previous one-person-only approach. This fosters a more proactive approach to finding a partner. The service has around 6,000 members, with a 6-to-4 male-to-female ratio. Male members are often technical professionals, or from large companies, while female members are often considering marriage. MAC21 also hosts parties and seminars for self-improvement. Future plans include adding lifestyle information to the Klydrum. The next page features a report on Koichi Sugiyama, the renowned composer behind the music for the Dragon Quest series. The article highlights his ongoing involvement with Dragon Quest concerts and his new initiative, Sugiyama Kobo, aimed at nurturing young game music composers. Sugiyama believes it's important for game music to stand on its own as independent music, not just background sound. The page covers a recent family classic concert, which included music from Dragon Quest I, II, and 2i, plus a new piece from Dragon Quest IV, the Royal Palace Minuet. It also showcases the soundtrack for a game called Star Command, produced by Sugiyama Kobo, praising its quality and sound design. Finally, it mentions an upcoming concert on September 12th, where 13 professional arrangers will perform orchestral arrangements, including Dragon Quest pieces. This page shifts focus to the music scene, presenting a music hit parade covering the first half of 1989. The introduction notes that the year started with Yuming and ended the Showa era with I Ga Tomaranai, concluding this half-year period back with Yuming. The single best 5 features Tsuyoshi Nagabuchi's Tombo at number 1, followed by Shizuka Kudo's Koihito Yo, Wink's drama theme I Ga Tomaranai, Hikaru Genji's Chikyu wo Sagashite, and finally Tsuyoshi Nagabuchi again with Gekiai. The reviews offer glimpses into the artists' careers and the impact of their songs, from Nagabuchi's personal life influencing his work, to Wink's theme song success, and Hikaru Genji's surging popularity. The album Best 5 is topped by Yumi Matsutoya, Yuming, with DSL Kiss, praised for its arrangement. Tsuyoshi Nagabuchi's album Showa is number 2, noted for its tie-in with a TV drama, though the reviewer feels the lyrical depth has lessened. Akina Nakamori's Best 2 compilation takes the 3rd spot, with a comment that the variation in her singles seems to have decreased. TM Network's Carol is 4th, highlighted for its sophisticated pop structure and perfect mix, despite a somewhat generic message. Finally, Buoy's Singles is 5th, sparking debate about their breakup and suggesting they still had musical potential. This page expands on the music discussion from the previous page, presenting the full single Top 100 chart. A brief introduction notes the strong presence of idol groups and Tsuyoshi Nagabuchi, also mentioning that male artists frequently rank high. The chart itself lists songs from rank 1 to 100, showing sales figures in 10,000s, song titles, artists, and their respective labels. You'll see many popular artists of the time featured, covering a wide range of genres, continuing the trends highlighted in the previous page's top 5 lists. This page continues the music theme by presenting the album Top 100 chart. The introductory text highlights Yumi Matsutoya's dominant position at number 1, noting that artists who release less frequently but sell consistently over a year demonstrate significant strength. The chart itself lists the top 100 albums, detailing their rank, sales figures in 10,000s of units, the album title, artist, record label, and release date. It showcases a wide array of popular artists and genres, from established acts like Southern All-Stars and TM Network to idol singers and rock bands, providing a comprehensive look at the best-selling albums of the period. This page presents the Game Music Album Best charts, showing the top-selling game music albums across several months from late 1988 to mid-1989, culminating in a half-year best list. The charts rank albums by popularity, listing their title, artist, release source, and date. The monthly lists highlight popular series like Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, YS, Gradius, Super Mario Bros. 3, and Capcom titles such as Ultimate Tiger and Ghouls, Bond Ghosts, consistently placing high. Notable artists and groups featured prominently include Koichi Sugiyama for Dragon Quest, FF Family Band associated with Final Fantasy, the JDK Band for Falcom series, S.ST Band, Zuntata, and the Capcom sound teams. The text on the page notes that the success of these albums directly reflects the popularity of the games themselves, specifically pointing out the strong performance of Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest II albums. The charts demonstrate a vibrant game music scene with various orchestral arrangements, rock bands, and sound teams contributing to the releases. This page shifts from charting game music popularity to recommending specific albums from the first half of the year. Building on the buzz seen in the previous page's charts, it highlights must-have soundtracks. Featured albums include the vibrant Super Mario Bros. 3, praised for its unique character themes and rhythmic energy, and Dragon Spirit, noted for its excellent PSG arrangement of arcade tracks. Wizardry 2. The Legacy of Lilgamin is highlighted for its synthesizer performance by Kentaro Haneda, sounding almost like an orchestra. Other recommendations cover Sorcerians, known for its diverse musical styles from rock to jazz, and Thundercross with its signature Konami sound and arranged guitar tracks. The page also reviews orchestrated works, like the Symphony YS, a full 40-minute piece covering the first 2 games, and the YS2 soundtrack, featuring a blend of original and arranged tracks, including the vocal version of Lilia. Compilation albums like Konami Game Music Collection Volume 0 and Namco's Video Game Graffiti Volume 4 and Volume 5 are recommended for their sheer volume of tracks and diverse selections, including tunes from Xevious, Galaga 88, and Dragon Spirit. Finally, Suikoden and Nobunaga's Ambition soundtracks are featured, with Nobunaga's Ambition specifically calling out the hidden gem vocal track, Inishi no Hitomi, for its excellent arrangement and atmosphere. The consensus is, these are high-quality releases worth checking out for any game music fan. This page continues exploring the world of game music, reviewing several notable album releases. Highlighted soundtracks include Genghis Khan, featuring diverse arrangements from Baroque to ethnic styles with excellent piano work, and Savalian, showcasing Zuntata's unique sound alongside a track from the composer of Chase, HQ. We also find Twin Cobra, praised for its powerful Taito sound and unique atmosphere compared to other games, particularly the track Midnight. The review for Strider points out its distinctive audio, mentioning arranged versions like Snow in Savannah, with sampled voices and Latin percussion, and the Grand Moon of Petersburg piano concerto. Ghouls and Ghosts is featured for its impressive orchestral arrangement, noted for its complexity, but rewarding to listen to, with the included score. The Super Mario Bros. 3 album is described with colorful imagery, comparing its sound to a piano concerto or rooftop garden music, including both arranged tracks and original sounds. A new GSM 1500 series of budget CD releases is announced, offering game music at an affordable price and including stickers. Initial titles include Zero Wing and Thunder Dragon. The Winning Run soundtrack is reviewed positively for its high-quality Namco sound and arrangements, with a video release also mentioned. Finally, a review for the heavy metal band Phantom Blue is included, listing some of their aggressive tracks. A short personal essay concludes the page. This page kicks off the Gokuraku VG Brothers column, focusing on sports games for the autumn season. The main highlight is Taito's baseball game, Dynamite League, though a small note mentions its release was unexpectedly delayed after the article was written. The review pitches Dynamite League as a baseball title accessible to everyone, including beginners and even those typically not into sports games. It praises the simple controls, fast-paced gameplay, and its ability to capture the exciting feel of baseball. A major feature discussed is the impressive zoom function, which automatically follows the action, particularly tracking the ball and fielders. The game also boasts features like player trading and substitutions, adding depth beyond just playing the game itself. Screenshots illustrate the gameplay, showing the split-screen view, smooth transitions, and the dynamic zoom in action, emphasizing how the automatic fielding, with manual control for catches, makes the zoom possible and heightens the excitement. The article suggests Dynamite League is a fantastic choice for baseball fans looking for an engaging game experience. This page continues the Gokuraku VG Brothers column, reinforcing the theme of sports games being perfect for autumn. The main focus shifts to Jumbo Ozaki's Super Masters, known internationally as Tournament Leader, a golf game praised for its incredible realism in both courses and gameplay. The review highlights how crucial it is to consider the ball's lie, showing examples like lie, rough on the screen. It emphasizes that the condition of the ball significantly impacts shot distance, suggesting players practice to understand this relationship. The control system is detailed, mentioning the swing power meter, club and stance selection, and a particularly interesting volume control used for aiming and rotating your perspective around the ball, allowing for a 360-degree view of the situation. Included are tips from Jumbo Ozaki himself, advising players to study the course layout before hitting their first shot, and to carefully consider where to land the ball on the greens, as course elevation changes are key strategic points. Mastering these slopes is vital for a good score. The section concludes by again recommending sports games for the season, reiterating the fun of titles like Taito's Dynamite League. This page features Taito's hard-boiled action game, Crime City. It follows two main characters as they solve 6 cases. The game is structured into 4 parts with 6 stages, and the scrolling direction varies between stages to keep things interesting. The page highlights the game's items, which are crucial for progression. These include weapons like the machine gun, automatic, shotgun, and missiles, along with a protector for temporary invincibility and a drink for health recovery. Players need to manage ammo and select the right weapon. Each stage has unique features, shown through screenshots. Stage 1 is a basic street fight. Stage 2 involves fighting on a moving car. Stage 3 shows a changing perspective. Stage 4 takes place in City Hall. Stage 5 involves a rescue, and Stage 6 features elevator action. An interesting point is the high score feature, which allows players to graffiti the score entry screen with bullet holes instead of just entering initials. The reviewer finds this novel but notes it's difficult to draw well, and jokes about others potentially criticizing your artwork or seeing questionable drawings appear. This page features 2 different games. On the left side, Sega's puzzle game, Flashpoint, is highlighted. Described as seemingly simple at first glance, the core gameplay involves clearing glowing blocks within larger stacked structures. The rules are easy to grasp, but the challenge lies in mastering the technique to clear all 100 stages, with the reviewer noting how the game's feel changes significantly despite the simple block mechanic. The top right section, part of the VG Brothers column, discusses the enjoyment of backgrounds that change with the game's speed, drawing a comparison to Fantasy Zone. Screenshots illustrate this concept, suggesting a dynamic visual experience. The bottom section provides extremely latest information on Namco's new shooting game, Finis Hour. This horizontal shooter, part of Namco's System 2 series, features a protagonist in a powered suit. Notably, it uses a damage or HP system instead of traditional lives, and incorporates RPG-like elements, offering a fresh take on the genre. A screenshot shows a boss battle, giving a glimpse of the action. This page marks the start of a new series. Let's try it with Kachan, Dreamcatcher, with its grand first installment focusing on the claw machine game, widely known as Dreamcatcher. The column aims to delve into the slightly offbeat, slightly embarrassing, slightly bold, in-depth pursuit of hidden popular things within the gaming world, with the ultimate goal of becoming a master technician at the arcades. The first topic explores the Dreamcatcher game, noted for causing a quiet boom in game centers. The reviewer observes that while the official name might not be widely known, everyone recognizes it as that thing where you use a magic hand to grab stuffed animals. Its popularity is attributed to the simple, cute prizes, making it particularly appealing to girls, and even suggested as a potential tool for impressing a date. Images show the claw machine itself, a pile of attractive plush toys, and people playing the game both as a couple and as a family. The text highlights that while it can be played alone, it's primarily a social game enjoyed by groups, especially couples and families. The author expresses a desire to secretly train and master the game to impress others, inviting readers to support the column and suggest future challenges. This page continues the Let's Try It with Kachan, Dreamcatcher series, offering a practical guide to mastering the claw machine. The headline warns not to underestimate the game just because it seems for girls and kids. It stresses that winning isn't guaranteed with just 100 yen. The game has a structure, and you should be prepared to spend at least 200 yen after an initial attempt to truly begin strategizing. A crucial skill is developing an eye to instantly assess which prizes are winnable. You need to observe the target prize carefully from all angles to determine the best approach. Basic gameplay involves using one button for horizontal movement and another for vertical positioning before the claw automatically drops. The page also includes an interview with the manager of high-tech land Sega Shibuya, who states they give out 50 to 80 prizes daily and restock frequently. Images show players engaging with the machine, the controls, a successful prize drop, and the arcade exterior, highlighting the game's popularity. This page delves deeper into the techniques for mastering the claw machine, building on the previous discussion about assessing prizes. It emphasizes that just grabbing isn't enough. You need strategy. Point 1 stresses choosing your target based on shape and size, noting that medium-sized, well-balanced plushies are easiest for beginners, but also highlighting that some items are winnable if you can hook specific points like long necks or legs. Point 2 is about visualizing the entire process, including repositioning surrounding plushies if necessary to make your target accessible. Sometimes your first coin is just for clearing the way. Point 3 covers advanced techniques beyond simple lifting, explaining how to roll or push prizes, especially for round items or those near the drop hole. The images throughout illustrate these points, showing different plushie types and sequences, demonstrating how to manipulate them into a winnable position or guide them towards the hole. The section concludes with a playful note offering prizes to those who still can't succeed, reinforcing that practice and technique are key. This page features the Be Mega Reader Present giveaway, offering a variety of prizes to lucky readers. The games up for grabs include the Golf Sim Ozaki Naomichi no Supermasters, the arcade classic Super Hangin', Sunsoft's baseball title Telltale Stadium, the Mahjong game Telltale Mahjong, and the action RPG Super Highlight. Beyond the games, they are also giving away a Winning Run CD, likely the PC Engine version, a Data East Game Sound CD, a G7 Turbo Mega Drive exclusive arcade stick, phone cards featuring TM Network and Wanted Dead or Alive with Steve McQueen, and a quirky Moonies doll. Readers could apply by postcard with the deadline of October 8, 1989. For a chance to win these fantastic items. BeepMD is excited to announce the upcoming release of its third issue on October 7th. Due to high demand, the magazine welcomes content-related inquiries via the question telephone line, Monday to Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. Contributors are sought for general articles, specifically writers over 18 residing near Tokyo with diverse interests. Prospective contributors should submit a 400-character game/hardware thought and a resume. The page also showcases the staff responsible for producing the magazine. Readers are encouraged to complete a survey included with the magazine, which gathers demographic information, readership habits, and feedback on desired games, platform preferences, and areas for improvement in Sega's games. The page is visually enhanced with a colorful illustration. This page introduces the action RPG Super Highlight for the Mega Drive. The page features a striking layout, with large Japanese characters forming a headline, filled with dramatic illustrations of dragons and dark landscapes. A fairy character flies near the top, while a knight-like figure holding a sword dominates the foreground. The text describes Super Highlight as the first action RPG appearing on the Mega Drive, calling it the final version of the Highlight masterpiece. It highlights the game's vast map, beautiful graphics, moving scenarios, diverse events, and powerful monsters. It also notes the game's deep system, incorporating concepts like time, weight, and character traits, claiming its level of completion surpasses typical ARPG requirements. Two small screenshots show the game's top-down perspective map view with UI elements. The game is scheduled for release in late September, with a list price of 7,900 yen, and is published by Asmic. This page features Naomichi Ozaki Supermasters, a realistic golf simulation headlining the Sega Mega Drive's growing library. You see a large photo of the professional golfer Naomichi Ozaki himself, alongside vibrant screenshots showing the game's various perspectives, from an overhead map view to the detailed swing meter, and even a player profile screen. The game is highlighted for its immersive visuals and realistic feel, offering 54 holes across Japanese, US, and British courses, promising deep tournament play, where players and caddies improve over time. Below the main feature, the page showcases an exciting lineup of upcoming Mega Drive cartridge games. It previews titles expected from October to December, including highly anticipated ports of arcade favorites, like the high-speed racer Super Hangin', the intense shooter Forgotten Worlds, and the classic fantasy brawler Golden Axe. The list also includes a game based on the popular movie Rambo 2I, and sequels such as Peacock King 2, and the action-packed ninja game, The Revenge of Shinobi. This section emphasizes the varied genres and quality conversions heading to the system. The page also reinforces the Mega Drive's capabilities, touting its visual shock, image processing, speed shock from its 16-bit power, and sound shock, delivered by its FM, PSG, and PCM sound sources. An image of the Mega Drive console is displayed, with its price listed at 21,000 yen. It's clear the magazine is building anticipation for the console's strong software lineup and technical prowess.